What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob, doing a Springbank 18-year-old. This is my first Springbank. It is bottled at 46% ABV. It is unchill filtered and natural color from Campbeltown in Scotland. I'm gonna nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. I'm about halfway through. I've given this away a little bit. I've given some samples. I wanted to see if people thought of it the way I did. And I'm gonna be honest, at first I was a little unsure about the whiskey. I thought there were a lot of things that I liked about it, but there was also some things that weren't necessarily hitting home. And I've heard so many great things about Springbank that I wasn't sure if I was giving it a fair shake. So that's why I decided to share it a little bit to see what other people thought. All right, so on the nose. So there's definitely a nice peatiness to this, not overly peaty by any means. You can tell that there's some sherry cask influence for sure. A nice welcoming nose. There's a little bit of sweetness there. I would say like a little bit of like a hickory sweet barbecue sauce. What's giving it that smoky flavor or smoky aroma is the slight peatiness. Okay, on the palate. Nice sweet note. Again with that barbecue sensation, a little bit of that bacon-like smokiness. Now, I will say that that has changed quite a bit, because the beginning of this bottle, when I first opened it, I was surprised at how earthy this whiskey was. It was a little muddy, if, you know, I had to really describe it. It was a muddy type earthy smokiness, an earthy peatiness, which reminds me of a lot of your stronger Islay Scotch, like your Laphroaigs and your Ardbegs, which I didn't expect from a Campbeltown distillery, but it's changed. It's changed drastically. It's more towards, and I know this is a bad example because Bruichladdich is a Islay as well, but it's more towards an Octomore type peat as opposed to a Laphroaig type peat. And for those of you that have tasted both, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This has more barbecue flavor type aroma as opposed, not just aroma, but taste as well. Whereas your Islay hardcores like your Ardbegs and your Laphroaigs, they tend to have that earthy, very dank type peatiness. So I'm really liking the nose. So if I had to mark this when I first opened the bottle, I would have given it a B+ to A-. Maybe an A-. I was enjoying it, just nothing was drawing me back to it that much. Halfway through, or about halfway through, and it's allowed for some oxygen to do its work its magic, so to speak, and it's much better. It's sweeter, it's more rounded, there's a little bit more going on, I find, and it's less of those earthy, dank, muddy notes. So I'm going to give this an A, because I actually am enjoying it a lot more the last couple drams than I did in the beginning. If I had to give it a numerical mark, I would say that's probably an 87, give or take. Okay. These are limited and they're batch made, so every year they're gonna release an 18-year-old, but every year there's only gonna be a set amount of 18-year-olds. This one is from 2016, August 18th, 2016. There's probably already a 2017 released, and again, there will be another batch released in 2018. So I picked this one up in Alberta. I paid $160 for it. In Ontario, this thing goes for $290. Would I pay $290 for this? Absolutely not. Would I pay $160 for this again and be happy with my purchase? Definitely. Okay, so if you can pick it up in Alberta, I would recommend you do so. If you have to buy in Ontario, I would say save your money for something better. There are 18-year-olds in Ontario that are available, such as the Glengoyne 18-year-old. If you want a comparable with the peatiness, look for the Highland Park. That's even cheap. That's still cheaper than this at $200. The Highland Park 18-year-old, you can't go wrong. Okay, so very good. Not worth $290, a lot closer to the $160 Canadian mark. And if you can get anything cheaper than that, then I highly recommend it. Okay, so that's an A for me. Lots going on the channel. As you can see, the Scotch 4 Dummies made a comment about the overwhelming amount of alcohol on my desk at the moment. It's been a nice month. I'm not gonna lie. There's been some bottles given to me, all right, and then there's been a whole bunch that I've been hunting for, like the Macallans here. I've hunted for recently the Glendronach 14 Virgin Oak. I picked up a Puni, which is the Italian malt, all right. It's called the Alba. I tried this earlier and I'm very intrigued by it. I'm not gonna say it's amazing whiskey, but I am definitely intrigued by it, considering it's only 3 or 4 years old, roughly 3 years old. All right, I have a whole bunch of other Glendronachs as well. I'm considering at this point doing a Glendronach month, because I have just on this desk right now 4, or if I'm not missing any, 4 or 5, and I do have a Glendronach 25-year-old Grandeur 007 in the vault, so we'll see. I might consider doing a Glendronach month, all right? I have a lot of great whiskey, and I think maybe that's better off waiting for the new year. If you like the idea of a Glendronach month, please go on the chat below, go on the message board below and comment and let me know yay or nay, all right? I will listen to you guys. I'll take the majority votes and go from there. So that's an A. Lots of stuff to come. Check me out on Patreon, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and also on Snups. Okay, guys, check us out on Snups. A lot of fun things happening on there. Cheers.